So this is hilarious. Lackluster Logic, which is pretty much exactly the perfect name for them, says, Give Me a Dollar says, when people are doing the exact same reaction as you did right now, they're clowns and faking it, but when you're doing the same thing, it's genuine. What's up with that? No, I never said that. You're just a fucking idiot. What I said is people who literally everything they do is an overreaction. Every single time they play a game, everything is hilariously funny or hilariously over the top. They've always got to make that over-exaggerated face. When they're playing a horror game, they always have to scream at every little thing and jump scare that happens and everything. Those people are fake. Every once in a while, you're having fun with a game, you have something hilarious that happens, like me launching Mario off the edge of the cliff and dying. That's pretty funny, and you can have a genuine reaction to that. Versus someone who literally every tiny little thing is a fucking over-the-top reaction is a lot different. But you wouldn't understand that because for you, everything's black and white. There's no such thing as moderation. There's no such thing as not an extreme. So it's you either there's zero reactions or overreactions. No, there's actually a middle ground, and that's what I try to do. Be genuine with you guys. But again, you wouldn't get that because you're a moron. So thanks for the dollar tip, moron.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News, the unreliable ones. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newsroom and welcome to the Goutopia News Network, your unreliable source for DSP News. This is the Snort Report. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a special broadcast for you. A special broadcast for you. Somewhat. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with one of our favorites, Snort Burnell, DSP. I would be destroyed without YouTube money. And Slow Night. This is from November 22nd of 2019. Wait! I am confused, ladies and gentlemen. I am confused. How is it that DSP, Dark Side Phil Burnell, would be crushed, would be broken, would be destroyed without YouTube money? Because if my memory serves me correctly, right? And it could possibly be the tie on my well-tailor-made suit. But doesn't Phil only use YouTube as an archive channel? Only a place for him to send his streams to only a place to send his streams for the fans who can't come over there to Twitch or can't support him on Twitch, if you will. That's what he really means. It's an archive. It means nothing. It has no real value. I mean, if that was really the truth, you would think he would just keep it archived on Twitch. If they can't show up for the live broadcast, no big deal because they'll have the archive. But semantics. But now Phil's saying that he would be destroyed without it? And then to follow that up, another slow night. As far as I'm concerned, that's most nights out of the week. So that doesn't make any difference. So ladies and gentlemen, this main focus of this broadcast apparently will be about money and the lack thereof, if you will. Now, YouTube is kind of funny because in actuality, he shouldn't bring this up. He shouldn't say this because there are clips upon clips upon clips of him shitting on YouTube, how they're a terrible business, they're a terrible practice, how they destroyed his business on YouTube, and, this, that, and the third. So for him to turn around and now say that he would be destroyed without YouTube money is kind of silly. Especially, ladies and gentlemen, where I am of the theory, or frame of mind, if you will, that he's being supplemented behind the scenes by one or two people, piggies, maybe even whales, that we don't necessarily know about. Now, granted, that is an assumption. I am assuming that is the case. I don't know for sure, but I think, to be honest, I'm probably not too far off of the mark. So for him to try to clamor and try to clinch and drive his hooves into YouTube to try to hold on to it is rather pathetic. But at the same time, if any of you who have delved through, DSP content, especially on YouTube, you're talking about at a time where this guy was making between $20,000, $24,000, $25,000 a month to do absolutely nothing. 5 hours of gameplay, probably 6 hours altogether with uploading and whatnot, and he's sitting back and drinking gin for the rest of the night. Or rest of the day even, especially when he turned this into a full-time job. Which allowed him to do all that traveling, which allowed him to go on all those different kinds of vacations, for him to buy all those goddamn statues. YouTube did all of that for Phil. You're telling me that Phil would give that up? You're telling me that Phil would become a sucker and go and get himself a real 9-to-5 job when he could just fight for this? One could say that Twitch is nothing more than just a layover for Phil until he can clean up the mess on YouTube. The mess being detractors, of course. As well as his self-image. His self-image will never get cleaned up, so his best bet is to try to get rid of detractors, which seems kind of stupid because more often than not, detractor content is going to be archived somewhere, if not multiple places, and he'll never really be able to get rid of it. But he thinks if he can get rid of it on YouTube, he can save himself the trouble. And the moment that the detractors get out of his proverbial way, if you will, on YouTube with their content, then he'll be able to rise back to the top, or at least rise to a particular point where he can start making a living off YouTube once again. Rather pathetic, I know. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get into the broadcast. We'll see what it has to provide, if anything. Hopefully somewhat entertaining. Might be short, not quite sure. If it is, then, well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it plays out. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Snort Report. And this says DSP News, always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on. Oh yes, a GTG Networking Productions. You guys all know the slogan. I don't smell no bacon cooking yet. But before we do that, I'd like to talk to you guys about SnortBucks coffee. I'm taking a sip, actually, right now. As I drink my SnortBucks coffee, well, SnortBucks cappuccino. It's white chocolate peppermint today. I imagine being in Seattle, Washington right now. I don't know if it's snowing or not. Probably not, at least not yet. But I imagine it being a snowy day in Seattle, Washington. You see kids out playing, having snowball fights. You see the women out there telling their children to keep bundled up. You see a lot of the men outside kind of laughing it up and whatnot. It's a joyous occasion. And then you walk past the Burnell house. The Subaru's gone, so Catherine's not home. And Phil Burnell is upstairs ranting and raving about Tevin making more money than him and stealing his content. And in that one moment, in that moment of clarity, of that moment of joy and human aspiration, all is right with the world. That's what my peppermint cappuccino reminds me of right now. It's delicious. Ladies and gentlemen, SnortBucks coffee is not just my coffee. It's not just the coffee of the detractors. It's your coffee. Please remember that. The best part of waking up is what SnortBucks in your cup. Peppermint white chocolate is the flavor of the day. You guys all know the slogan. It's time to watch me work. They'll get better eventually. They'll get better eventually.
Now let's play the game!
Warning, what you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting. Sound good?
Alright, sounds good to me.
The absolute best way.
This peppermint white chocolate is the shit. Don't let nobody tell you different. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with one of our favorites, Snort Burnell, DsP. I would be destroyed without YouTube money in a slow night. This is from November 22nd of 2019. Defiant Sniff. This cappuccino's the shit, though. I'm not gonna front. This cappuccino's the shit. Here we go.
You guys could contribute would be to tip me. Tipping me has helped me tremendously over this year. Tips are funds that I can use right away to pay a bill or buy a game or whatever it is I need to do. You know, typically right now.
But typically, don't you always have to be paying bills and buying games? So which one will it be? Just saying, realistically speaking. He's always in debt, and he always needs to get the hottest new game because the games that he's currently playing are dying out. Just saying, just throwing it out there.
End of the year, I'm making a big push. I'm trying to raise funds for taxes and the like. It happens every year. It's never going to change. It's pretty much going to be always like this. So, you know, any tips that you contribute help me more than anything.
The long con, or the long snort, if you will.
Else right now, not to say that cheering or subbing or Teespring or any of that stuff doesn't help too. It does. But really, the tipping helps me more. So please consider tipping me today on the stream.
You're needed at 8. No, you're a grown-ass man asking your audience of wheelchairs for
Oh my
money,
God.
bro.
All right, here we
It's
go.
a fucking job.
Here we go.
You've been begging. You always got some sort of.
Blah 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 blah. Okay.
All right, well, the first contributor today was Philip Smelly Chair with a 50-bit cheer. And he says, beginning today, treat everyone you meet as if you were going to be dead by midnight. Extend to them all the care, kindness, and understanding that you can muster, and do it with no thought of any reward. Your life will be never the same again. Your life will never be the same again. I completely messed that one up. So...
What is there to think about? I like how he has to contemplate being nice to someone without any type of reward given back to him. Or without some type of payoff. He has to actually sit there and think about that. That's insane. But make sure you guys have your wallets ready for Christmas, though. And for, 2019 tax, or 2020 taxes, actually. No, it's 2019 taxes, but you'll be paying him that money in 2020. Because he doesn't want that... Actually, now that I think about it real quick, how is he going to play that out? Because if you guys remember in 2000, at the beginning of this year, remember how someone said they would send him like $9,000 to try to help him with his taxes, but he told them not to send it to him until the beginning of 2019, so this way it wouldn't show up on his 2018 taxes. So how is he going to collect money for taxes this year? Is he going to wait? Is he going to literally ask people to not donate the money to him until 2020 so it doesn't hit him on his 2019 taxes? Or how's that going to happen? Just something to think about.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. It's funny because you hear all these Christmas stories, too, right? Around this time of year, you start hearing these Christmas specials and Christmas stories that if everyone was just nice to each other all year round, like a lot of people tend to be around the holidays, that the world would be a better place. I tend to agree with that. And
you tend to agree with that, but yet you're not nice to anyone at any time of the year, and you're expecting people to be extra nice and extra generous to you at the end of the year. That makes a lot of sense.
Everyone was just nicer to each other, the world would be a better place.
The thing is that sadly what happens is you get people who are nice and then you get people who stomp on those nice people because they're shitheads. But if everyone would
no
just...
self-awareness whatsoever. That's amazing. It's scary at times, but it's certainly amazing.
Agree to be nice to each other and do nicer things for each other and take care of each other, the world would be a much better place. But sadly, what you see way too much in this world is greed and corruption and only caring about your personal gain yourself and not really caring about others. It was actually funny. We just played a game recently, The Outer Worlds.
And one of the characters' names was Ellie, who was part of your crew. Now, Ellie was a very cherished member of your crew. She was a medic. She healed you all the time. If you were down, she would, rescue you. But during the dialogue trees you had with her, learning about her past, she trusted absolutely nobody. She said in her life she'd been hurt way too much by people who only were out for themselves. It had taught her that no matter what people say or do, even being part of a crew, where she trusted the crew. She said, I'm still, at the end of things, still going to kind of only be out for myself because I know that I can't trust anyone. Kind of like
that sounds just like Phil. That really does. Like, she merely... It sounds like she merely was fulfilling her role to obtain her goals. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like self-preservation, right? You play your position. You know your position and you play your part. Phil's no different. He's just as self-absorbed and just as ruthless, despite what his circumstances are. Because Phil's the type of idiot to have delusions, or illusions, if you will know delusions, of people betraying him and they really didn't. He's just nutty enough to do something like that. Actually, he already has.
Cool. Steve Austin, DTA, don't trust anyone. I don't know if that's a way to go through life, man. You know, and I'm someone who definitely has been burned many times in my life by people who I trusted and thought that they had my back or you know, cared about me genuinely, were either my friend or a caring loved one, and the next thing I know, I get stabbed in the back, right? But for me, that doesn't feel to me like that's a reason to completely give up on humanity. You know what I mean? Just because you think that maybe someone might treat you badly isn't a reason to treat them badly.
Unbelievable. 100% hypocritical.
So, if this sentiment from Philly Smelly Chair is just be nice to everyone, I mean, yeah, if everyone were just nicer to everyone and just took the benefit of the doubt and said, I think if I'm nice to everyone, maybe they'll be nice back to me, maybe we'd all have a better life, you know? Then again, with the amount of shitheads out there, you know, it's hard to say. But it's definitely a nice notion. I thank you, Philip Smelly Chair, for getting us talking about this positivity. Here on
But you're still generally missing the point, because the only reason why you'd want to be nice to people is because you expect something to be returned. How about you just show an act of kindness to somebody randomly and just go with it? But see, that kind of conflicts with Phil's wiring, in the fact that he needs to have immediate payoff. He needs to have immediate payback. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just can't do it out of a sense of selflessness, because he doesn't know what that is. He has to completely and totally be out for himself, and if he's not benefiting in some type of way, shape, or form, more than likely short term, but it could be long term. Either way, just benefiting, it's not worth doing. It's wasting his time. He can't even hide that sentiment, let alone try to fake it.
Thank you for that. Thank you for the first contribution of the day.
That douche kid. Cheers is a cat. Okay. She's actually getting much better. Finally her cough is starting to subside. She's still coughing, but it's finally starting to subside. She's been sleeping downstairs recently because she's been choking so much that it's been keeping me up. So she's actually been sleeping downstairs recently.
Now, I want you to think about what he just said. It's like she's been sleeping downstairs because she's been coughing and choking so much that it's been keeping me. It's keeping me up. Think about that. Think about that when, you know what I'm saying? He quarantined that girl downstairs. He made that woman go downstairs and sleep and sleep in front of the fireplace because that shit was keeping him up at night. But guess what? He damn sure expected breakfast, probably expected, and certainly expected Din the next day. You guys don't remember that clip? It's a Medicare. It's definitely a Medicare clip for sure. I know I've used it at one time or another on the channel, where Phil gets up and he's like, "Hey guys, Panda's got like the flu. I think she had the flu or something." But he's like, "Hey, Panda's got the flu, or Panda's really sick and she's been sick all day. But she's got to go off there and make me dinner. Give me a second, I'll be right back." It was like during like Star Wars. I don't know if it was like Battlefront. I think it was Battlefront. But yeah, he was like, "Yeah, she's sick, but she needs to make me dinner. Give me a second, I'll be right back." And he went into the other room, woke that girl up, and told him to make him dinner. Yikes.
And so it's good because I can actually get my sleep, but it sucks because I don't get to like be with her at night when she can't get to sleep. You see what I mean? It sucks.
Philip Smelly Cheer now did a 50-bit cheer. He says, with the new YouTube terms of service around the corner, do you worry you may fall under the umbrella of a children's entertainer, even though you obviously aren't? Listen, no one can control what YouTube does. No one can. YouTube does whatever they want. We all know that. Anyone who's used YouTube over the years knows YouTube at any moment will change something and not tell anyone, with no disclosure, no actual explanation of how this will affect you or your business. They just do whatever they want, right?
You make it sound like they're obligated to tell you, though. They're really not. You got to understand, like, you guys have made a living off of a business that wasn't initially structured to do what it does. Okay, I'm not trying to shit on any content creators who make a living off YouTube. I'm not saying that, but let's be honest with each other. The infrastructure wasn't built for this to happen. It wasn't initially constructed to do so, but it changed. It allowed people to make a lot of money on their platform. No one necessarily told you guys to make a living off of this, though. Like, or use this as your sole form of income. Yet again, that kind of falls on the content creator. Phil is a perfect example of that. So when Phil sits there and makes all these complaints, yeah, they did all these changes. Has YouTube done some really slimy, shady shit? Absolutely. At the end of the day, though, no one told anybody to be reliant on this and do this strictly for a job. If you want to take the skills that you learned from here and turn it into a career, that's something completely in itself. But no one told anybody to sit here and live high off the hog off this. And it's funny because we see a lot more of this now that with some of these bigger YouTubers who try to transition into actual entertainment, they're not very good. So it kind of makes you wonder, well, was YouTube always hyping them up and always hyping up their numbers? Because some of these people just don't seem very funny at all. And most people would easily say, oh, well, it's more like it's the difference between the YouTube crowd or the internet crowd and that of mainstream. That's a fair point, too. It just also happens to be that a lot of them are just not funny. Not all of them, but a lot of them are just not very funny. Just something to think about.
They could literally flip a switch and say, all video game content is considered children's entertainment and no one can advertise on video game content ever again. I can tell you, I can smell the saltiness, right? They could do that. What recourse would anyone have? Zero. Absolute zero recourse, no power to do anything about it. It sucks. It would be terrible. You know.
As I've told you guys, I do still make money on gameplay videos. Nowhere near as much as I used to, and certainly not a ginormous amount. I just want you guys to understand, it's like a minuscule amount of my income a month, but it's still some income. If I were to not be able to make...
Now, I don't know the exact numbers these days because I know his views are in the complete total shitter. But Snort Burnell had just put up there that he makes probably about $1,000 a month. In 2017, I know this for sure because Eddie B43 in Secret Life of DsP, also known as the artist formerly known as The Secret Life of DsP, now only known as Secret, actually crunched the numbers, and I think Phil made between like 43 and was like and $47,000 off YouTube at the end of 2017. Now he's probably reduced to somewhere between like 12, 14, maybe 15,000 a year. That's in a 2-year span. That's insane. That's kind of nuts. But that just goes to show exactly where he actually stands, not only on YouTube but on the internet as a whole. That's why he needs Twitch desperately. They're literally propping him up, and he's at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to Twitch, by the way. He's no different, really, than someone who's not partnered. You know what I mean? That's where he's at. And if it wasn't for that old partnership that they gave him all those years ago, he'd be fucked. He'd be royally screwed. You know what I mean? But take that for what you will. But that just gives you an idea of his decline. And he can blame that on everybody he wants to blame, but in actuality, as it pertains to his lifestyle or his way of living, that's the only person who's at fault for that is him. No one else. Only him.
Any money on YouTube ever again because gameplay videos are now considered children's content you can't advertise on, that would really destroy me. Like, that would hurt huge. Would we be able to make up for it possibly if we had a surge in contributions on streams? Yes. It's not undoable because I don't make a ton on YouTube, but still it would hurt me really badly. All right? But it wouldn't be the end of the world.
I have changed my content to be primarily stream focused, and I feel that we could survive it. All right? They could do whatever they want at any time. So yeah, it could happen. Now, do I feel that would happen? No, I don't think YouTube's going to make a sweeping change overnight that all gameplay is going to be kid stuff because a lot of games, let's face it, are mature rated games. right? Later today, I'm playing Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. That's a game for teenagers or older. That's not a game for little kids. Tomorrow I'm playing Death Stranding. That's a game for adults, right? These are games, you know, Pokemon Sword, arguably you can argue that could be a game for kids, or it could be a game for adults, it could be a game for both. So it's a gray area, right? How do you argue? I don't know. I tell you, I'm not PC. I swear all the time. I tell it like it is. I'm a 37-year-old guy who has been doing this for 11 years.
He's a dinosaur of the internet. In mid-2016, I accidentally streamed myself masturbating.
He was the guy that got caught masturbating in front of children.
It's the guy watching his Twitch.
Is that really him? Is he the one that got caught?
Yes!
And my content is not for children. Never has been, never will be. But YouTube can say whatever the hell they want. And do whatever they want. Okay? So, sadly, it's in their hands, not mine. Should I sit here and be a worrywart and say, oh my god, the sky is falling, this is the end of the world? No. I've noticed a lot of people on YouTube are doing that to make drama views. I'm not that kind of guy. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna keep doing what I love, and if things...
Then he has to be lying about what he's making on Twitch. Because like I said, we all know he's making 6 figures on Twitch anyway. So, if you think about that, right, if because he's pulling between 8 and 10, maybe even 12 on a good month, $1,000 a month on Twitch, he's basically making the equivalent of what he was making in 2017 off YouTube and Twitch combined. So, yet again, he's being dishonest. Yet again, he's being unnecessarily greedy. But just something to think about.
Go bad, what can I do? I can't control it. I'll let you guys know and we'll do our best to recover from it, right? But let's hope it doesn't happen. Let's just hope for the best. Let's hope that I can still archive my videos on YouTube and make the little bit of money that I do on them and keep moving forward positively. There you go. Pray for Rock says how Phil feels about Street Fighter V is akin to the people who complain about new Pokemon. Well, there you go. You know what? Pray for Rock may be correct. Maybe because I have an extensive history with Street Fighter. I've played them all since the very beginning. I know the competitive nature of Street Fighter at a high level. That's why I don't like Street Fighter V. But because I'm a casual player of Pokemon, that's why I like Pokemon Sword. Same thing with Street Fighter V. If you didn't play all the previous iterations of Street Fighter, you don't know any better, you may love Street Fighter V, and that's okay. I've never said, oh, you have no right to like Street Fighter V. What I've said is, don't say it's the best competitive Street Fighter, you're out of your fucking mind. That's what I've said. There you go. Fair enough.
And you really have no right to say that because who are you at a competitive level? And when I say that in the last 10 years. What have you done in the last 10 years that makes you the foremost expert at competitive Street Fighter? He doesn't really have anything to say. He can't compete with none of those guys now. And I bet you those guys can probably compete with him at his bread and butter. You see what I'm saying? And I said they could. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody, but they could. And then, more importantly than that, which is a very interesting question, how is it that people who were playing around Phil's time, who are still playing now, are still somewhat successful and or can at least rank up in big tournaments decently, and yet Phil can barely get past online play? Well, that's uncomfortable.
Bagel Goose is in 100-bit cheers and my DSP Dark Souls hoodie got stolen at the gym.
What? That is absolutely disgusting.
If I emailed you, can you send me the link to get another? It's the only one not on your merch store currently. Seriously? Your Dark Souls hoodie got stolen at the gym? That's fucked up. What I could say, Bagel Goose, is, if you email me to remind me, when I get a chance one night, what I'll do is I'll jump on my Teespring store and I'll take a look, and I'll see if it's, more than likely what it is, it's an expired product link, and I can re-add it or renew the link for it, so that you can just get it again, if you want. Yeah, I would say email me and I'll look into that. But that's horseshit. You know what that reminds me of? This one time, I was at a video arcade, playing Street Fighter, and there was a giant arcade machine, big-ass screen, giant controls, and there was actually a distance between the big control panel and the screen, and everyone would just toss their jackets there. So I used to have a leather bomber jacket, and I tossed it in there with everyone else's jackets, and then one night I go home, my jacket's gone. Some motherfucker stole my leather bomber jacket. It's like, who was it? I was here all night playing. It could have been anyone. Anyone could have just went in there and said yoink and stole it. I was like, god damn, these fucking assholes. And that pissed me off. It really did. You know, that's expensive. Leather bomber jacket. My parents had bought that for me, too. It was a gift, so.
Anyway, thanks to everyone who was here tonight. Thanks to...
Now, that rant would have extended an extra 10 minutes, 15 probably if he bought it. But since it was his parents, he probably went home, pig squealed to them, and they probably just bought him another one. Probably.
Everyone who hung out with me, and thanks to the very few people who contributed. I don't know what happened tonight. I don't know why this was like a super slow. Everyone's loved this game up to this point. I did. I thought the stream was great. So I don't know why it was so slow tonight, but it is what it is, I guess. I just want more money. Again, thank you very much to everyone who did contribute on this night stream, even though it was a really slow one. I can't control it. You know, it seems like we were having a good time. We were having fun interaction. And sometimes, I guess, you know, people contribute and sometimes they don't. I can't control that. Hopefully tomorrow will be a better day, I guess, right? A demanding baby. I can't wait for the money. DSP is a greedy fuck. Phil has indoctrinated children who send him money, blatantly milking for money. It's a money pit. It's gone, just gone like that, in an instant, fucking gone.
Oh boy, this was a little shorter than I thought it would be, but I got y'all. I got y'all. Let me clean up a little bit. I'll see you guys in just a second. This was hella short. Thank you to Snort Burnell, as always. This is kind of short. Okay, so you guys know the rules. Because this is short, I will do another, and that'll come out later on. So this will come out in the morning. So expect an evening broadcast, which there hasn't been one of those in a long time, actually. So that'll be cool. So look forward to that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so what are our thoughts about the YouTube money, given the whole new TOS and everything like that? Is Phil going to get hit? Yeah. Oh, Phil's going to get hit. Is it going to kick him off YouTube or anything? I don't think so. I think it's just going to make it even harder for him to get views, to be honest with you. I think it's going to be very, very difficult for Mr. I'm not a children's entertainer is going to find out that once all the kiddies are gone, views are going to tank. So that'll be fun to see how that plays out. As it pertains to the slow night, yet again, you got $114 in the early stream, and then you make another, or $115, and then you get like another $114 at night, and you're still not happy with that, basically saying that, oh, I didn't get my $200 minimum. I mean, it is what it is. Like, you know, it is what it is. I guess the whales already went to bed early. So, I don't know what else to say about that. It's just the way the ebb and flow goes. You make of it what you will. He should be glad that he made that much, to be honest. He should be really glad that he made that much. But then again, maybe, just maybe, that slow night situation is him coming to the realization that if YouTube tanks, I need everything I can get. So, he kind of needs Twitch to be a bit more consistent. You know what I mean? Like the days of... Planet Jeff only popping up 4 times a month with some big donations, that's not going to work no more. Now he needs to get some real piggies in there that are going to pay him, and he probably needs a whale or two. I don't think he can do that, but that's kind of what he needs right now. Or that's what he's going to eventually need. But like I said, we'll wait and see how it plays out. The day that he gets hit by YouTube, he's going to spaz the fuck out on Twitter, and he'll make a dedicated video going over it, and we'll go over it because that's what we do, and we'll see how everything plays out from there. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Snort Report. This is DSP News. Always late, never breaking. Unreliable coverage that you can't count on. Oh yes, a GTG Networking Productions. I've been your host / anchor GTG, and I'm signing off. Take care of yourselves, guys. Oh man. Alright, like I said, we'll have to wait and see how it plays out, but it should be interesting. Like I said, take care of yourselves, guys. I'll see you guys later on today, I guess. Or later on this evening. End the broadcast.